All right, guys, we are back here on a Friday night. I tell you where I find everybody, but as of late, most of the people I find are on TikTok. TikTok has done a lot, has changed my life in a lot of ways because I'm truly finding myself and learning how to be comfortable with myself and so much more. But I say all that because I've met so many cool people in these last special 7-8 months. I've been on there for 2 years, but these last 7-8 months has been everything because I've made so many cool friends and just I find people every day who I can also use for the podcast. We can have conversations when we talk every day, but we also if I can give a platform and help have someone find their voice or tell their story, it's important because not everybody gets a chance to do that. And I feel like if you get somewhere in life, you should be able to pay it back to others in any way you can. And our next guest is somebody who came in my life a while back, and she's very friendly and just sweet girl and has her own things, her own ailments and things. And it's like, hey, you ever want to come on? And here we are. We tried to make it work for a while, but we're here, and so I'm just happy to have her on because she's a sweet girl and happy to call her a friend. So anyway, would you like to tell us your name and a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. Hi, guys. My name is Katarina. I go by Kat. I'm 27 years old, and I just recently had my first baby. So that's been an experience in itself. So a little bit about myself was that I grew up in Chicago, and I had like a rough upbringing with my family, especially with my dad. When I was smaller, he had ended up coming in and out of my life and not really being very consistent in my life. And then I was living with my mom and my grandma for a while up until I graduated college. And my mom and myself had got into like quite a few arguments, especially during high school years, and like I have a feeling that we clashed so much was because we were so alike in a lot of different ways, and I really didn't understand like her reasoning behind stuff. And so her and I had a rocky relationship during high school, and a lot of the times it felt like I was taking care of her and that I was being the parent. And it really did drive me kind of crazy because I couldn't comprehend, like, why is a 15, 16-year-old taking care of, like, a 40-year-old woman,
Yeah.
My mom was, like, heavily into, like, taking prescription medications and whatnot. So I would find her, like, kind of zoned out and, like, not in the present. So she would be very much, like, kind of drugged out and everything. And it made me grow up a little quicker. And I had to, like, take care of my brother. And then I also had to take care of my grandma as well. So I felt like my childhood and my teenage years were kind of like slipped away from me, like, I don't know, it just felt like a weird feeling. And plus I'm the first child, I'm the first daughter, so it even makes you feel like as a daughter you have to like grow up so quickly and like become like a parent almost to take care of your siblings and whatnot. So
Yeah, especially with the
so
lack thereof of your
that's a little
father.
bit about myself.
Yeah, no, filling in the gaps is hard, and especially when you have trauma and health issues and things, it's really hard to, like, life just kind of keeps going. Like for me, I talk about it all the time where it's like I didn't realize how different I was, or I didn't realize how hard my life was until I got to like my 20s and realized like shit, like, man, because life just doesn't slow down. Like yeah, you may lose your childhood and things like that, but your life just keeps going. and you just get numb for a while, and you think about stuff. You're like, ah, man, like, why is this the way this is? This shouldn't be like this. Something's odd, but I can't put my finger on it. And then you get older and you start to mature and you become an adult, and you're like, oh, okay, some of this is starting to make sense now. And but you don't.
Yes,
It takes a while to really understand it.
yes, I agree with you 100% with that because all the way up until I graduated college, which was in 2019, right before the pandemic, um, I was a little young 21-year-old who wanted to like go travel and do dumb stuff and create wild stories and whatnot. And now, fast forwarding 5 years later, 6 years later, I'm damn near 28 years old, and I'm like, I have my own family. Like, and it just makes you realize, like, damn, life just really just keeps going, and you like kind of have like a new outlook of life. And like, I did lose my mom in 23, so me looking back at my relationship with her now that I'm a mom myself, and now that I'm almost 30 years old, it's just like kind of crazy, like how I kind of understand her a little bit more, you know,
Yeah.
and I cherish the times of me like having an actual conversation with her and like her and I kind of bonding and whatnot. And I guess like losing my mom had made me feel like I matured a little bit more because it gave me like a different perspective of like how life really is. Like life is really cutthroat. Like
Yeah.
literally that day I was at that house and my brother had asked, "Oh, hey, do you want to come in and say hi to everybody?" I said, "Oh, no, no, I have to get going home and whatnot." And boom, 8 o'clock at night, that same night, I get told my mom is in the ambulance, flatline for 20 minutes. And boom, everything changed. And I was like, holy fuck, like life can really just
Yeah.
change everything for you.
You have to keep
So,
you have to keep adapting because it's not going to slow down. No one's coming to rescue you, so you just have to keep going. It's like when you hear older people complaining about current times, and there's plenty of reasons why things are messed up right now, but it's always there are some people that just don't want to understand the new lingo or understand this, understand that, and it's like there are things that need to be changed because we didn't get everything right. We continue to keep changing because we have to, and we have to adapt to those times. Like my grandma, she's in her 90s. I made sure to get her into technology so she wasn't like all her friends who were like afraid of it. And it's like you have to adapt. If you want to be relevant, if you want to exist in this world, you have to continue to adapt. And it's the same thing with your actual personal life. Like in order to be able to find happiness within your life, you have to learn to live with what's happening, and you have to accept what happened and what could happen if you keep going this way, and so on and so on. You have to learn from every lesson that has been, you know, brought upon your desk. And yeah, if you don't, you're just wasting time. But at the same time, sometimes when you're in the middle of just of chaos, it's really hard to be like, oh yeah, look at this learning lesson. Like you kind of don't figure that out until after because it's like it's too much. But I feel like the older you get, I still deal with chaos. I still deal with, just ridiculous things at times. But I feel like now I'm able to pause in those moments and be like, huh, okay, there's something here to get. Let me figure out what it is. Whereas like when you're younger, when you're in your teens, your early 20s and things, you just panic and you go, this is too much. But I think the older you get, it becomes somewhat more comfortable. To even to some degree, for me, I think I realize like sometimes when it's chaotic, I can I'm more comfortable. When it's quiet is when I don't know how to react because it's like I that I've been going through this stuff with my eyes, and my eyes are starting to get better, and everything is going okay right now, and I truly don't know how to act. Like I'm like, what do I do? Like I don't really have much to complain about yet. I still don't feel true peace and happiness. And so you gotta find, Like, when you have the time, you have to try your best to figure out how to be happy no matter what's going on.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. You know, like I feel like when you're in your late teens, early 20s, you just feel like any minor inconvenience just like, you know, kills kills your mood and like um what's it called? It makes you feel like it's the end of the world type thing, you know, like oh my god, my life is ruined, and like now that we're older, we're like oh okay, it's really not that bad. Sure, it really fucking sucks, but it'll somehow get better, I guess you can say. And I completely agree with you because that's how I feel as well. You just have to learn to adapt and learn to like grow. You need to learn to just kind of accept like what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
Sure, it's hard, but once you kind of start accepting it and saying like, hey, you know, this is what's going to happen. We just need to learn to cope with it, like find coping mechanisms and learning how to like deal with like the anxiety, the depression, the anger, the emotions that go in between it.
Yeah, and you kind of have to be okay with some things. Like like we sometimes we try our best to force something to work out, and it doesn't work. Like if you ever tried something, whatever it is, I don't know, you're just trying something, and it's like you're trying to apply for this job, and for some reason the application just won't submit, and you just keep going, and you've been doing it for hours, and you try to figure out the problem. You're googling it, you're trying all kind of things, and then the next day you come back and you do it, and it works for some reason. Like sometimes you got to take a moment and you got to step back from something and say, well, this is just not working out. And maybe it'll work out tomorrow, or maybe it'll never work out. Like I realized recently, like I don't know if me getting my eyesight is actually in the cards. And maybe I'm not being negative either. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying I'm okay with that. Like I just don't want to continue to struggle the way I have been struggling. And that's why I went the contact route instead of the surgery route, because I'm like, maybe it's okay. I'm legally blind. That's okay. I've dealt with this for a long time. Like driving is not something I stress about anymore. That used to be something I worried about. Now it's not. Like I just truly want to find more happiness and find a good woman and things like that. Get a house and things, but like I truly don't care about chasing this thing that I've been chasing for a long time. And sometimes you just got to be okay with the things that make you feel uncomfortable. Like what if you never get over this person? What if, like, okay, what if? Maybe you won't, but that doesn't mean you can't move on. Doesn't mean you can't be happy. You just, sometimes you gotta like, I know that I'm probably going to have mental health, like my demons, my whole life. I can get better. I can get stronger. I can get happier, but I know I'm always going to have some days of depression, some days of anxiety. I'll have PTSD. I'll have trauma. I know that, but it's okay. Like I just have to admit that, you know what? My demons live here too. I wish they didn't, but they do. So it's like, it's the same as like if a real neighbor who's just loud. Like it sucks that they live down the street, they blast their music, but they're there. They're not going anywhere. And you just got to find a way to deal with it. And so sometimes you just got to learn how to figure out how to deal with the things, find ways to cope with it the best way you can. It's not perfect. It's not what you envisioned. It's not what you dreamt of. But, you probably didn't dream that you would be where you are right now. So it's all upside down, for better or for worse.
Yep, I 100% agree with you again with that because, you sometimes just have to like sit down with yourself and like kind of like have like a out of body experience and like take a look at your life, and you have to just be like, you know what, I'm okay with it, like sure you may have made some silly mistakes or decisions and whatnot, but like at the end of the day, maybe those decisions are what needed to be made to bring you to where you are right now in your life, and like in your case, I know that you're dealing with your eyes and the pain and everything, but like you choose to have a positive outlook on life every day. Even on your darkest days, you try to like have a positive outlook, and that's what you have to do. You have to try to like have a positive outlook on things, even when it feels like everything's failing,
Yeah.
which is really, really, really hard, but it's possible somehow, some way.
Yeah, for sure.
Some days you can just fail and get back up the next day and be like, oh, okay, I made it through here. I made it through the next day. Maybe I will be okay.
Yeah, well, because we're always, I mean, we're in this time where we're looking for instant gratification. So you want to go to the gym and you want to lose 5 pounds within the first week, and that's not going to happen. You may even gain weight because you put on some muscle.
Yeah.
It
Or
does.
or the best thing is that you go to the gym and you think when you look at yourself in the mirror after your workout on the first day, you're like, wow, I look great already.
Great, man. I went from a size 7 to a size 6 for sure.
Right?
And
You're like, damn, okay, I must have dropped the size already. All that hard work I just did right now in 45 minutes.
yeah, exactly. You're like, man, I was sweating, and I mean, I think everybody would go to the gym if they got the results they wanted within, even if it was once a month, like every month you lost a couple pounds, you'd be like, or you gained a couple extra pounds of muscle, or you can lift more, you'd be like, yeah, but that's not how it works. Progress is super slow. And a lot of times it's happening underlining when you don't know. And you
Hmm.
truly, truly don't know. And so even when you're working on yourself and you're doing a lot of good, you can't see it until, and a lot of times we can't see it until someone points it out, because a lot of times we have this image of ourselves, and it's always our worst self. Even if we lost 10 pounds, we lost 20, 30 pounds, we can see ourselves as the person who was 30 pounds heavier. That's all we could ever see. And other people go, man, you look great. And I go, I look like shit. Check again. They're like, no, you look awesome. And you're like, yeah, really? Maybe. And it's the same thing with anything else in life. Like you just got to keep on keeping on, and it's not going to be instant gratification usually. It's just that's not how it works. Anything, go to therapy. You go to therapy, yeah, it'll help eventually, but it's probably not going to help for the first month or two. You got to really get out. You got to speak. You got to start talking, and you got to start opening up. And it's a lot of times, like we were saying earlier, is that you don't realize that you healed from something until it's many years later. Where you're like, oh shit, I don't cry when that is brought up anymore. I don't, I just talk about my trauma and it doesn't affect me anymore. I'm not sad about it. And you go, well, when did that happen? And you don't even really know. You're just like, oh, it just got better on its own.
Oh,
It's
yeah. I definitely agree with that as well because, you know, sometimes it just takes a little bit of time and time will heal eventually. Like in my case with the news of my mom, I thought I was going to be feeling like that forever. But with time, I feel a little bit better. And in that moment, people are like, oh, it'll get better. It'll get better with time. And in that moment, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, I just lost my mom at the age of fucking 25. Like, I
yeah,
should not be burying my mom, you know?
yeah, yeah.
And people are like, oh no, it'll get better. It'll get better. Don't worry. I'm like, if you say so, sure, I guess.
You
But
hear,
now that I'll look back at it, I'm like, oh, okay, I can kind of see that it's gotten a little bit better.
yeah, you hear a lot of corny shit that sounds like just straight rubbish. You're like, no, shut up. But sometimes they are being truthful. Because some people are just kind of being dismissive and they're just saying whatever they feel they can say to you in the moment because they're uncomfortable too. It's like, what do you say to somebody who lost their mom, truly? But sometimes people are actually giving you good advice. It just sounds like some hokey bullshit that like anybody would say. It doesn't sound original. So you're like, whatever. Like I've always heard that like one of the things you have to do in order to be happy, in order to truly love yourself, is you have to start to just love yourself. Like you have to stop wanting everyone to heal you and try to change you and you got to stop wanting and desiring all these things, because that's not going to make you happy at the end of the day. You have to rewire some things in there. You actually have to start liking yourself and projecting that. Otherwise, it's not, you can't expect anyone else to love you. And it sounds corny as shit, but then when you actually start doing it, it's like, oh shit, they were right. It's like, oh, I should just start loving myself. Yeah. And then all of a sudden,
Yeah, you're like you almost have like a light bulb effect in your mind.
well, like, I mean, you see me on live a lot and I joke about things, but like, I truly, like, never, like, I would have died for all the compliments that I get now. Like, whether girls come in and say, hell, there's guys that come in and say I'm handsome, right? Or there's people that come in and say that I'm awesome, or I helped them, I did this, I did that. And like, I never got that. No one gave a shit about me. No one knew who I was. Before TikTok, I mean, just mean in my real life, no one, like in school or whatever, I was a nobody. And all of a sudden now people are like, you're freaking awesome. And I'm like, huh? What do you mean? Like, what?
Yep.
But a lot of it, I would say at least 80 to 90% of it is because I truly stopped hating myself and I just started trying to like myself, and I started to try to be who I was meant to be. And now people see me for who I am. Even when I have bad days, it's like, yeah, we still, like, we get something from it because this is real. Whereas to me, when I'm depressed or I'm frustrated or I'm sad on there, I just think I'm an asshole. Like, oh God, you guys must hate me right now. But y'all don't see that. Like, but that's my insecurity, because I'm just like, I'm trying to be real, but at the same time, part of me thinks that I suck right now, because that's how I feel on the inside. I feel ugly, or I feel just low, and so I don't have the confidence to be upbeat and positive. But people still say nice things, and I'm like, well, shit, maybe it's just, maybe I really have changed, and now people can see that, and it's like, yeah, and it's like I said, it's a very powerful thing when you start to see what you've put in, when the progress actually starts to add up to something. You're like, oh shit, like this is what I've been hoping for. I never even could have dreamt of this. Like, I actually am a better person. And it's like, I'm sure for you, like, when it comes to the mom thing, like, you're now officially a mom, and I'm sure, you and I have talked about your mom and stuff, but like, I'm sure like you're what you need to be right now is an updated version, like a better version of what your mom was. She had her flaws. I'm sure she was great at times, but she messed up a lot. And for you, I'm sure I can tell from your pictures and how you talk about your son, like, you're a very attentive, loving mom. And I feel like you are just trying your best to be everything your mother wasn't, trying to remove all the bad habits and traits so that your son lives in a better world, so that he could even be a better version of you.
Yeah, I do my best every day to do that. And I think that's what, in the perfect world, you would think, the children who do have children want to do better and be better versions of their parents, like, and so, although, like, my mom was, like, kind of messed up and my dad was messed up and whatnot, it kind of, like, makes me thrive a little bit more, wanting to do better and be better for my son. Although, like, I wish I had the guidance, to be a parent, because there's no freaking handbook out there. But I'm doing my best. I just want the best for him, like, he's such a little precious thing, in this world. And at the end of the day, he didn't ask to be here. It's our job to make sure that he's well taken care of and whatnot,
Yeah.
And he's just so innocent too, like, you don't want to strip his innocence so quickly, that's also my other goal, is to, like, keep him as innocent as possible for as long as I can. Like, shit, I want him to believe Santa until, I don't know, 7, 8 o'clock, 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Is that going to happen? Probably not. But
Not with the internet.
in a perfect world, I would love for him to just believe that things like that is real still.
Yeah. No, I mean that's how I see with my cat. Like it's just there's just such an innocence, and they need to be protected. And you see the world that they're growing up in, and you're like, man, you want better for them, and that's why it's like everybody wants to try to save the world, but no one really wants to put in the effort. And in order to do it, you got to get up and you got to do something about it. And being better in this world isn't going out and being a content creator or, you know, being a firefighter or something more important than a content creator, you know, being a police officer, a nurse. No, man, you can help your community. You can be an asset to the world, to your community by just being a good person, by being a good mom, because you're raising another person who's going to grow up in this world, and now they can be a good asset to the world. Like that's something in itself. Forget about what you do as a profession and just being a good person and being out in the world and being polite. And like I said, like there are certain people, I've met a handful of people that I truly, genuinely like and love, and you're one of those people that I met off of there. And it's just like that's just you being you. You're just kind and you're a good person. And I knew that through a phone screen. And that means something to me because you don't see that a lot. You see a lot of the trolls and the shit I deal with, you know, what happened to your face and all these things, right? And that doesn't bother me, but it does bother me in the sense that that's how the world treats each other. That's how people treat each other, that it's okay to just say whatever you want to somebody. But the ones who choose not to do that, the ones who choose to get to know me and actually watch my videos or ask me whenever it's appropriate, that means something to me. And just by you being that helps me. I'm a strong person. I'm okay whether you do or don't do it, but it gives me hope and faith that, hey, there are good people out here that give a shit and are trying to be good people. And so, you know, going out and bettering the world isn't just putting out fires and doing brain surgery. It's also just being a genuine good person in this world and, you know, trying to do right and fix all the mistakes that the people who came before us did. Not just our family, but everyone who fucked up, right? Like we corrected slavery was wrong. We corrected the Holocaust and women couldn't vote and all these things. We're correcting those things. We still have ways to go in a lot of areas, but we have moved on from a lot of those things. We realize that those things are wrong. Well, we still have a lot of wrong to right, and it takes all of us to do that shit. But we can't do it by just sitting on our couches going, you know what needs to change? That, you know, go and do something about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's so crazy, you know, because you just have to learn to cope with all this stuff that's going on in today's world, or you have to learn to navigate. You have to learn to somehow make yourself a better person in today's world. And today's world is just so crazy, so cruel. And you have to sit here and battle like negative comments. You have to sit here and battle like yourself. You have to sit here and figure it out, you know? And it's just so crazy to me, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, even when I was younger, like in my teens and stuff, I'm like, man, I don't even know what I want in life. I still don't know what I want in life. But, like, you sit there and you try to figure out, like, your identity, like, what do you want, who you are, and what do you enjoy in life, what are your hobbies, and like, today, like, in today's, right now, like, I feel like I don't know what I fully like. I don't know what I fully enjoy. And it's just so crazy because you don't even have the time to, like, figure all that stuff out. You know, you have, like, it seems like you have like a million jobs piled up onto your life, and you don't have any time to figure who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't get easier. You just gotta, like I said, you gotta go with the times. You gotta keep going. It doesn't matter if you don't have a job right now. You gotta find one. But that's not your only problem. If you have one problem in this world, damn, you are one lucky person. Because if you got one problem, man, if you got good health and you got love in your life, everything else, and you got hope, everything else will kind of figure itself out. But usually we all got many problems upon problems. And sometimes we got many problems in that same area, right? Like I got multiple health issues. It's not like I just got the eyes. So but you got to keep going. You got to try your best to keep a smile on your face. You got to try your best to just you just got to do your best. And if your best isn't good enough, then so be it. It's not good enough. But it's okay. At least you tried. Some people don't even want to try. Like they said, the deck is stacked against them and they just can't do it. And it's like, nah, man, you just got to not play by their rules. Like if the deck is stacked against you, you take the deck and you chuck it and you start over with a new deck, because it is what it is. This life is not fair for anybody, but it's damn sure not fair for those of us who have been through hell and back. And it's never going to be fair, but it is what you make of it. If you sit around and say, I can't do it, or I'm incapable, guess what? The world's going to look at you as an incapable person who can't, follow through or can't do something. And, for me, it's like once you put labels on people, you say they're disabled, or, they're dealing with, you dealing with daddy issues or whatever, right? There's labels with everything. Or you're a single parent, right? A single mother, God knows all the tropes and bullshit that comes with that, baby daddy drama and all that shit, right? But like, it's what you make of it. Like, yeah, it sucks, right? You don't want to raise a kid alone. You want to have a good man in his life and all that. But at the end of the day, like, if he's not there, fuck it. You got to just pick yourself up every day and go, you know what? I'll be the mom and the dad. Do I want to be? No. But you got to be, because what else are you going to do? You're going to invite some other bum into your life? No, you can't do that either. So, yeah, it sucks being alone. It sucks doing it alone, I'm sure. I saw what my mom went through, but you got to do it. And at the same time, you still got to work. At the same time, you got to pay those bills. You still got to clean the house. You still got to change his diapers. You still got to shower. It's not like anything else slows down, but it is truly what you make of it. Because if you sit around and say, this is too much, then I guess you're one of those people. But I think for people like you and I and many others, like, we don't have a choice. We just have to keep going. There is no excuses. There is no I can't or I give up, because it's just we don't know that mentality. That thing has been turned off and that switch is broken. We can't access it. And that's what keeps us going, is that there is no other way for us. Even when the days get the hardest, when they get dark and you think about the worst of things, you still go, yeah, like, that would be easier, but I can't do that. It's impossible. Like, the things that are impossible to us are the bad things. The things that are impossible to us is killing ourselves or just truly giving up. Like, that is impossible. That is the things that we flipped the switch. Instead of saying, I can't get a job, I can't be a parent, I can't deal with my disabilities or whatever, we say, I can't kill myself, I can't give up, I can't, things like that. And that's kind of the ultimate switcheroo. And you just gotta, like I said, it's what you make of this life. It's, for you, your life is hard, but that doesn't stop you from being a mom.
Yeah, it just, sometimes when I get some quiet time, I sit back and I think about it, and I'm just like, wow, it's crazy, like what if my relationship doesn't work out? I have to sit here and like pick up the pieces and just keep moving forward and play mommy and daddy, and hopefully, later on in life it works out,
Yeah.
And of course you don't want to like bring in somebody else and have somebody else deal with the issue, But if it happens, it happens. But it's just, oh, it's so crazy, like having an outlook of life.
It is.
Like when you're young, you're just like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and that, and so many things are gonna happen, and then you just kind of go through the motions, and like it feels like years just pass so quickly, and you're like, wow, okay, I'm here at this stage of my life. Like, what do I do now? And you just kind of keep trekking along, and like you have all these like little goals and stuff for yourself when you're young, like get a house by 20 something, get married at this age, have this, have that at this age. I've learned, like, you know what, I'm not going to sit here and try to um what's it called, like live my life by like these certain ages and what I should have and what not. When it comes, and I became content with that.
Yeah, that's all you can do. It's sometimes you got to just put some things away and just come back to it on another day. Even if that means years later, you go, oh, okay. Because some things just aren't meant for you at that time. Some things work out. Like you ever had something like, food wise, and you eat something and you hated it, and then you get older and you love it, or vice versa. Something you loved as a kid, like there's things I like very sugary that I loved as a kid, I hate now. But there are things
Mhm.
there are things that I've tried in my adulthood, and I went, that is delicious. I would have never liked that as a kid. I tried it before and I hated it, and it's just sometimes it's just a mental thing. You're just not ready to receive something. You're not ready to take something on, and there is a time and a place for that, and it's just it ain't now. But down the road, that door might still be open, or maybe that door just wasn't open and now it will be when you get there. It just you had to. It's truly like a video game. It's just like you have to go through a bunch of levels and unlock a bunch of achievements and things, and you have to get these keys and whatever else you need, and then eventually you'll go back to that one level, and you'll realize that door is now open and you can go through that door and there's something cool behind it. But for up until this point, it was not open for you. And I think sometimes we have a hard time admitting that something just isn't for us, whether it's for that time or period, just overall. And like I was saying with the eye thing, like it's sometimes you have to admit that this thing, like, oh, you want to be a professional basketball player. Okay, well, you're 35 and it's not happening. So you might just need to admit that it's just not for you. There are people that go to nursing school and go through the whole thing and then eventually find out, like, I don't even like needles. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to stick needles in people. Why the fuck why did I do all that? I wasted all this money and time. But maybe it was just maybe you were being asked to do something else and you just kept refusing. Sometimes, like I said to God with the surgery thing with my eyes, I kept telling him, I'm like, look, I need to go to New York just to see if there's something here. And then when she said I can't do it yet, but there's these contacts, maybe you should try that. It's a lesser invasive thing. And I'm like, okay, all right, you got me. Like, all right, I get it. The surgery, if the surgery is for me, it's not for me now. And the lenses are for me. We're going to try that. Okay, I got you. I'm listening now. And maybe that was like a 2-week sacrifice or a 1-month sacrifice, whatever it was. But but some people sacrifice a shitload of their life because they just won't listen. And sometimes you just need to open your ears and just and I'm not even like, me, I don't push God on anybody, but sometimes you just got to listen. And there's something out there for you, but if you keep refusing it, eventually he's just going to be like, okay, try it out on your own, see how it works. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but kind of see how this is going to play out. And so sometimes you go all through nursing school and it just doesn't work out, and you fall on your face really hard, and now you're at whatever age in your life, and you're like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? And you have to figure out how to turn it all back around. But there's a door that's been open for you for a while that you just keep saying, nah, you keep refusing it. Well, try it out. You never know. Never know.
Yeah, it's a surreal type of feeling, when you're out here in life and you're really like figuring it out. And it just seems like every day you're figuring it out. You could be 50 years old and still figuring out life,
Yeah.
and it's just Crazy.
I think that's a good thing, though. Like for me, I know I'll never be perfect, so I'm just gonna try my best to be as close to perfect as possible, knowing that I'll never get close to it. And I know I'll never fully understand life, but I'll just keep trying. And you learn things all the time, and you gotta keep going. And I mean, I think if you got all your answers, you got everything you wanted already. What's the point of continuously going on? Like if you got everything you wanted, now what? What is the point of your life? Oh, I'm rich now, so now I can fly all over the world and I could do this, I could do that. Yeah, but what, like I said about the video game, like one of the things about video games is you keep playing them and you keep unlocking things and you keep moving towards the next level. But once the game is over, what do you what in yes, you've been wanting to beat the game, but once the game is over, how what do you do? Because the game is done. Maybe the game has a sequel. Okay, you beat that. But then what? Yeah, you could play another video game, but it's like you ever watch a show and you're on season, you're on the season, you just started it, and as you're watching the season, all these things are unfolding and you just want the answers to it. Well, technically you could just fast forward to the season finale and go, boom. Oh, that's how this all plays out. But why? That's no fun. That sucks. So, and then when the season's over, especially when the show is over, you're like, how do I recreate, Breaking Bad? You can't, because there's no other show like it. You can find shows that have similar subject matter or, have a similar tone, but there's nothing like it. And because it's its own thing. It's the same thing with your journey in life. Like there's nothing like it. And if you fast forward and just give you everything you want without all the, the journey part of it and all the middle part, I just truly don't see how you enjoy your life. So even though we have it hard and we're going through it, there's still a lot of good in there, and there's still a lot of progress and a lot of knowledge that's being gained. But if we truly woke up tomorrow and all our problems went away, I don't think that makes us happy. It does in the short term, but I think long term you get to a point where you're like, now what? Do you want to exist another 80 years going, now what? That sounds awful. And that's why I think why you see so many rich people still trying to become even more rich, right? Like they just keep pushing towards the next thing. Like Amazon has more money than they know what to do with, and yet they're trying to get into the video game space or whatever their next venture is. They're always trying to do something else, even though it may be annoying to us. You got to get it on some level because it's like you think, oh, it's Amazon. It's probably the most popular website on planet Earth next to Google. And it's like, yet they still keep trying to make more money. And it's like, why? It's because they don't want to get bored and stagnant. They want to continue to reinvent and still try to move the needle. But you would think if you created Amazon, you don't need to do anything else. But that's not how life goes. Like you can't just create one thing or do one thing and then life is just, that's it. Like in order to find fulfillment and thrill in life, you have to find other things that give you that same jolt. It's like an addict in a way.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that because it just feels like a lot of these big corporations are just trying to suck up everything and trying to get more money and more money. And they don't even like give back to communities. They don't. It's all for them,
Yeah.
They don't sit there and like care about what's really going on in the world, or at least in the states,
Right. No, I'm just saying, like my point is though is yeah, I get that you're 100% right in that it's awful, but I'm just saying like, just in our lives, like as people, we I don't know if we can ever truly be happy, and but we're always chasing it, and if we have something to chase like happiness, if we always have something to go after, that's what keeps us going in life. If we don't have anything, then life that has no meaning to it. And even if you have everything you want right now, right? Like me, I like to buy all my shoes. Well, I pretty much have every shoe I ever wanted except for 2 pairs, and I'm gonna have them here by the end of the year when they come out. And I'm feeling like, what the fuck? What do I do? Like, I should be happy, but I'm like, kind of like, oh, well, damn it. Like, yes, I'm gonna buy more, but just not at the level that I buy them. But my point is like, I don't. It kind of feels empty when you don't have something else to chase. When you don't have that thing, like you could close that chapter, but then you have to find something else to try to, obtain. You have to find something else that you can collect or whatever. And so it's like, I think no matter these big corporations and things, like, yeah, it is bad what they do, but at the same time, you kind of have to understand it. Even if you don't agree with it, it's like they're just doing what every other human does, just on a much bigger scale. Or it's like they can't find a middle ground where they can just be happy with what is. They're always chasing to be bigger than they are. And it's like when you see Amazon or Apple, Google, or any of these giant corporations, you're like, you're Amazon, you're Google, you're Apple. What else do you need to do? Like, just put out stupid phones and tablets and computers and you're good for the rest of your lives. Why are you trying to make headphones and speakers and all these other things, right? Charging cases. And so why do you need to do this? It's because, they don't want to be stagnant. They don't want to be like how we get sometimes, or we get to a point where we get complacent and we go, what is next for us? And like I said, if you don't have anything to chase, I think that's like what TikTok is for me, is like, I wanted to get to 10K followers. Well, 10K, I'm now almost at 30. Well, 30 is like, well, now I need 50. And then I get to 50. Now I need 100. And it's like, even though maybe it's not entirely healthy, at the same time, it keeps me hungry for more. I think that's what happens with music artists and things, right? They lose the hunger because they grow up poor or whatever, and they make music, and their music is from the heart. And then when they get older, they're trying to still be relevant, but they can't be because they don't have the same hunger for it, because they're rich. They have everything handed to them now. Now everything, they're so far removed from poverty days. They're so far removed from days of struggle that now everything is easy, and it's hard for them to be as relevant. And so that's why for us, it's like we have to constantly find ways to reinvent ourselves and keep finding ways to, I don't know, just keep finding things to look forward to. Because if you don't have something to look forward to, that's how you lose hope, and that's how you become depressed and suicidal, and just life has no meaning.
Yeah, it's it's like a point where you have to like try to um not take life for granted, you just have to take it day by day and enjoy the little things that do happen, enjoy the small little experiences that you have, and you just have to try and make things the best out of it in any type of situation. It could be a good situation or a bad situation or whatever the case may be. But us as people, we have to try and do a little bit better with being happy and content with what we do have versus like constantly trying to strive for more or chase more and chase more. Like the way I look at it is that you should just be kind of happy with what you have. Yes, you want goals, and yes, you want to gain more and want more. Yes, but you should be happy with what you have in life. You know, considering like what's going on now.
Sure. I forget. Have you dealt with some health issues too in your life?
Yeah, I have asthma. So
Asthma. Okay.
I was actually hospitalized for asthma back in November of 2018, like for a week, and then I still struggle with my asthma. Um, I have back pain, but other than that,
Yeah.
I don't have like other major health issues. Just really my asthma, because that really does cripple me some days.
Yeah. I brought it up because I knew there was something we talked about before, but it was so long ago. Um,
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's why I try to preach so much about how, like, if you got good health, man, and whatever that is, good health. Like for me, I'm having a really good eye day today. My good eye days are still the worst eye days for you, but they're my good health days. And so, like, when you're having a good day, you're breathing right and all that, it may not be perfect. You may have, it may not be, great for everyone else, but for you, it's good. Like, man, those days you gotta appreciate them, because when those bad days start to pile up and you're a week into nothing but bad health, bad breathing days or bad eye days, you start to mentally check out and you start to lose hope and you start to wonder, like, is this my new normal? And when you start to think that way, you start to really get really down in the dumps and frustrated, and mental or your physical health can really lead to a lot more damage mentally than and psychologically than anything, because you're probably fine, but you're making the most of it, and you start reading shit and chat GBT and shit, and you're like, oh, I'm in trouble here. Like, I don't think I'm ever gonna make it out of this. But if you have good health right now, man, please cherish that, because you just never know. You never know how it can flip. Like, there was a girl on my live earlier. She came in and she was just she watched my videos or whatever, and she was just like, I just want to know. She said a bunch of nice things or whatever, but she said, a couple weeks ago her eye just exploded. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, I had a vitamin A deficiency. And she went through all these different things that happened to her. And she said, for the last like month, I've been in absolute agony and misery. And I literally just lost all my eyesight in one of my eyes. And it just happened out of nowhere. And it's like, you go to bed tonight and you had a great health day. Thank God. Or just be grateful that you did, because, man, tomorrow is not guaranteed that you're going to be the exact same way you were today.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy, and it's insane how your life can literally um turn, like, you can always have like a little white flash like right before your eyes, like, especially like with the lady in the live who said that her eye exploded. What the heck? Oh my god, I would be so terrified if that happened to me. And then you have to sit there and like deal with like the post traumatic uh trauma, after that. And then I can only imagine how her days are and whatnot. But yeah, I agree with you, like I have to take advantage and be grateful for the days that my health is good and my breathing is good, because when I was in the hospital and I got out, I was like, man, I cannot be taking breathing for granted, because there's been days and a lot of times where I have to go run to the hospital and get like a nebulizer treatment because I truly cannot breathe and I'm over here dying, sounding like I smoked like 20 or 30 packs of freaking cigarettes.
Yeah.
And it's horrible. I would not wish asthma on someone. Like I hate that constricts your breathing so bad.
Well, you have that that extra incentive to want to be here too, because you have a kid, especially an infant at that. Like, he needs you to survive. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, without you, he doesn't exist pretty much. So, you have, and that's, I gotta imagine that psychologically is something, like when you're having those really bad asthma attacks, it's got to be hard, because there's a party that just wants that to stop, and some of it even gets to where you're like, I give up. Like, I don't want to do this shit, but you can't. Like, there is no giving up, because for many reasons, but obviously the one big one is I have a son who needs me, and so I have to figure out how to plow through this, whether I want to or not. I have to.
Yeah, like I have to try to like make my life a little bit better, because I do want to run after him. I do want to play with him. I do want to make sure that I can be involved in his life. So my breathing is definitely a major thing that I have to try to get under control.
Yeah, absolutely. just gotta take care of yourself, man. That's just that whole body is a temple thing sounds like a complete just like ugh, really, but it's true. It's
Mhm.
you gotta take care of your body. You only get one of them. Maybe in the future we can replace it all with robotic parts and things, but as of right now, there's only a few body parts you can do that with, and it's you gotta take care of yourself. You truly do. When you pour a bunch of shit into it, you're gonna have a shitty body. Like this is how it works. Gotta take care of yourself, and you can have fun. You can you don't have to be perfect. You don't gotta eat kale sandwiches all day long. You gotta get some exercise. You gotta take some good supplements, and you just try not to do too much drugs and alcohol and cigarettes and all. Like you gotta try to care about yourself. You just do. If you don't, like, you can't complain when you know you're the one doing all the harm to yourself. Like I said, you only get one body, and as a person who has health issues that I've had in my whole life, I would say I'm trying not to have more. And any way I can prevent that, I'm good. I truly don't want to be more unhealthy than I already am, because some things I can't help, but I can help if I drink a lot. I can help if I smoke a lot, and I can only imagine what it's like because I've always had great lungs because I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. I've had breathing issues for health reasons wise, but never due to that. And I can only imagine and throwing asthma on top of it, like that's got to be like a really surreal thing. Like I've had issues where like I hyperventilated and I was breathing too fast, my heart rate went up and like my whole body locked up. Like that was scary. But the idea of like struggling to breathe has got to be such a scary thing because you need to breathe. Without breathing, you aren't around anymore.
Yeah, I've had a few moments of where I get panicked, and it the way that I know that it's bad is when I cannot like actually like breathe through my mouth. Like do an inhale and an exhale, and I can hear the wheezing, and like I'm using my inhaler, and it is not working whatsoever, and then the coughing just hurts my entire body. Oh, I know. Then I'm like, oh God, I need to go to the hospital. Because
Yeah.
then when you don't, when you can't breathe, you get scared. You're like, fuck, man. If I don't breathe, I might not be here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that's kind of like what quicksand is, right? You get into it and they tell you not to struggle because you start struggling, it starts to pull you in further. Um, so, yeah. And it's your best bet is to stay calm. But how do you stay calm when you can barely breathe? It's, you know,
Oh yeah.
it's,
Funny. My fiance be telling me that. He goes, oh, you have to be calm. You have to calm down, bitch. I can't breathe.
yeah.
How can I not be panicking if I can't breathe?
Yeah, some people give the worst advice when you need good advice. Like, my God, there are people that just say it's going to be okay. It's like, bitch, I'm dying. Like, no, don't just say it's going to be okay. It might be like you might be right, but you're just saying that because you don't know what to say.
But like, I don't need to hear it in that moment.
Right, yeah.
Just console me. Like, make sure that I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. Just try your best. I don't always give the best advice, but if I don't have advice on something, I try not to give my opinion on it because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But I try to give whatever advice I have. And if somebody's struggling, I do what I can. But I know when I struggle, it's hard for me to listen to people's opinions because it's just like you don't want to hear it. And sometimes you just need somebody to just care. You don't even have to have good advice or even an opinion on what's going on. Someone who just puts their hand on your shoulder and goes, "It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
Just
it's gonna be all right.
It'll be all right. One way or another, we're gonna get through it." It's not ideal. Like there's things I worry about all the time, things that may or may never happen. And I worry about them every now and then, and I just have to say, look, that would suck. That would suck. But what are we going to do about it? It's not happening right now, and it may never happen. So we'll deal with it when it happens. But if it does happen, we'll get through it. We've been through so much, and I think I think that's why we have to keep reminding ourselves what we've been through all the time. You have to keep telling yourself the odds that you've overcome. Because if you don't, you get desensitized and you get removed from where you once were. Like if you haven't had a bad day, physically, mentally, whatever, in years or months or weeks, you kind of go, oh, I'm good. Like you fool yourself. Like, yeah, I'm all right. I don't got no asthma schmashma. What's that? And then one day it just creeps up on you again and you get sad because it just breaks you. Because it's like you almost feel like you were cured and you're like, why did I ever think I was cured of this stupid disease? Why did I ever think that? But you try, and that's what I'm saying. Like every day almost, you have to kind of wake up. And you ever see that movie 50 First Dates? With Adam Sandler? Like, but like the whole premise of the movie is this girl has this ridiculous disease where she has like, she can't remember anything. And she had, what does she have, a car accident or something, whatever happened to her. And she has to be, like every day she starts her day like the last day that she can remember. And Adam Sandler meets her for the first time and she's in this diner and he falls in love with her and she falls in love with him. And then the next day she forgets. And every day he has to convince her that, and show her that, hey, like at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, they have a kid and she and they get married and they're living on a boat and all these things, but every day he has to remind her, like he shows her a tape and she watches it every morning and her whole life is within this whatever 15-minute video, whatever, shows her what she has, what she can't remember. And that's kind of what we have to do every day. It's like we have to pretty much beat it into our head. We have to tell ourselves, hey, remember, you've had it hard. Remember, you have asthma. Remember, you've had past trauma. You have all these things. Remember this, because it's not going to go away. But remember it not to bring you down, but to just continue to make you stronger. Because remember, you are this person. You made it through this, and you're still making it through it. Don't separate you. That's why I think so many people separate themselves. They try to get so far away from their bad days, their trauma, their scars. They try to forget, and it's like you should never want to forget. You should use that to motivate you and to remember where you've come from. Yeah.
You're 100% right, Tim. You really have
to. That's why I keep you around. You agree with everything I say. What did you say? Sorry, you were far from the phone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I say yes. You are 100% right. You just have to be, grateful with it.
Yeah, for sure. What's I don't know, like what I never like to ask people the corny question like where do you want to be in 5 years and all that, but like what do you want to do with your life? I know you're working, obviously you want to see your son grow up and all that, but like what are some things that like where do you want to be in the future?
Well, my goal is to be I would love to be financially more stable, like more have like a stable job, like either like working from home and being able to still be at home with my son and still try to bring in some type of money. My other goal is that I would love to what's it called? I would like to try to be like a makeup artist. I would like to go back to school and like be a makeup artist. I think that would be kind of cool to do.
Yeah. Well, it's never too late.
I always had like I was always pretty good with doing makeup and everything, and I would like to try to do that.
That would be cool. Well, that's good. You got plans. Just, you know, keep pursuing them little by little. Even if it's like, let's say tomorrow, you say tomorrow I'm going to look at schools, even for 5 minutes. That means you're doing something that's heading you in that direction. Just keep little by little, just chipping at it. You don't every now and then you can put some real time and effort into it, but if you just keep every now just keep pushing towards it, keep making just taking a few steps forward, and it'll happen. But it's got to be like, if you want, it's one of those things, when you want something, you have to tell yourself by any means necessary. And it's truly up to you. And that's why I've learned here lately, where it's like, I think so many people use God as a crutch, right? They say God has got this whole life planned out for you, and he probably does, but he's also not going to do all the work for you. He's going to help guide you there. Like I keep saying, he's the GPS, he's not the car. You're the car, or you're the person that has to drive the car. And in order for you to get to your future life, you have to do it. You have to go, and you got to put all the hard work in. You got to be rejected and told no many times over. You can't just pray it away, or pray that it all is going to get better. I just, it can, but you have to do it. And so for you, you have goals. You want to do shit. I think that's awesome. And I think you're absolutely going to do it. It's just Cat has to believe in Cat.
Yep, Cat has to believe in Cat. Sometimes I don't believe in myself.
I hear you. We all go
You
through
just
it.
have rough days.
Yeah, we all have rough days. But again, it's back to giving yourself grace and reminding yourself every day. Like I said, 51st day. It's like you got to remind yourself every morning, hey, you're fucking Cat. You're doing
I'm meow meow.
you're meow meows. Yeah, you're meow meows. You're strong. You've been through so much, and you're still going. And yeah, your life isn't perfect. You're not rich. You're not financially secure, right? Your life is not perfect, but your life has been worse, and your life could be worse. And
Yeah,
as
that is so true.
as
Yeah.
as long as you're moving forward, even if it's uncomfortable, as long as you're moving forward, that means you're headed in the right direction. It's when you're going back to old behaviors and you're doing things that don't feel real, don't feel right. That's when you're self-destructing and you're self-sabotaging. When you're doing shit to get in your own way, when you're just like, you know what I'm going to do tonight? I'm going to sleep with a guy unprotected just cuz. Like, fuck it. I'm going to do whatever I feel like tonight. You're like, are you well? Like, that's not like, yeah, I'm going to do heroin tonight cuz that sounds like fun, right? Like, no, we probably shouldn't do that. Like, just don't self-sabotage yourself, man. Love yourself. Anyway, yeah, just, you got this. And like I said, you're going to have those days of self-doubt. I doubt myself all the time, girl. Every day. I tell you, I get compliments every day, and every time, maybe not every time, but every now and then I get these moments where my demons will go, none of them mean that shit, right? Like every one of them, like all 150,000 of them, whatever the fuck people it is, like all 10 of those people that said I was handsome today, they all lied. Yeah, they all lied. They don't give a shit. They're just getting your hopes up. It's
Yeah, it's crazy because you can really get into your own head and you can actually start believing what your head is telling you.
Yeah. Well, and then when you're having those bad days, like your bad asthma days or my bad eye days, you feel so low about yourself that even those compliments now don't matter. Whereas years ago, you would have done anything for a compliment. You would have loved to hear somebody say, hey, you're a really nice person. Thank you for being a good person. Like that warms my heart. But some days you're like, that's bullshit. Like you don't even believe you're a good person. So like it's not even that you think they're lying to you. It's just like you're like, well, you don't know me. Like you don't know the piece of shit I really am. And it's sad. But again, what separates you and I from a lot of people is that Yeah, we have those days, and we believe it sometimes, but we always come back to reality and pull ourselves out of it, and we still find pleasure and happiness in this world.
My goal is to just find pleasure and happiness in the small things that happen in life. It could be taking myself out to dinner, and I find happiness in that. You
Yeah,
just have to do your best to make yourself happy a little bit.
treat yourself, man. That's why, I mean, I joke about it all the time, but that's why I buy myself shoes and shit all the time. I just go, you know what? Like, I bought myself a pair of shoes because I made it through this eye thing. I'm like, you deserve a pair of shoes. Buy yourself, like, just, and again, it's not all about money because I know we all don't have money, but it just do something for yourself, man. Treat yourself to something. Take yourself out to breakfast, you know? Get yourself a McGriddle. Like, hey, I just want a McGriddle and some orange juice, and this is because Kat went through a lot, and Kat deserves a McGriddle. You know, that's all.
Uh huh.
That's all it is. But anyway, let's wrap up. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we go?
I think. I think it's actually really great to end it like this. Like end it on a note where we're like talking about this. Like how we just have to uh treat yourself and be able to like accept like the small little wins in life. I think that's awesome. And like you buying yourself shoes is is a little hobby of yours. I see that you have a whole collection and everything, which is really cool. And I used to have like a little collection of like little purses and whatnot. So it's like little hobbies that make you happy. And I think that's just awesome. And I try to do that for myself, like even like going out and buying myself a little something just to make yourself feel better.
Yeah,
I guess I don't know. At the end of the day.
having something to look forward to, like we were saying earlier. Like sometimes that Amazon package or something that's coming, you bought something off some site, and you're like, oh man, that pocketbook is coming. It's not going to be for 2 weeks, but I can't wait to get it.
Yeah, and it's like Christmas. I'm like, wow, it's like Christmas.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Christmas in July.
exactly. Well, don't hang up because we'll wrap up off air, off the recording. But I just wanted to thank you for coming on, and I appreciate you. And do you want to promote your TikTok? That's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to promote it. Yeah.
Sure, go ahead. What is it?
Uh, okay, hold on. Okay, so my name is XX dot cat's eye KATSEYES.
All right. There you go. Well, again, guys, we will wrap up. We will hope everyone has a beautiful day or night or week or month or year. And love y'all, and thanks for your time, guys. See you guys.